In May 2026, Google told the whole marketing world one very reassuring thing. They said to show up in AI overviews, in AI mode, you don't need anything new, just create good content, just create crawlable pages, the same SEO you already do. But actually, we decided to deep dive into this analysis because we tested it. We took 8 AI engines, so we took AI Overview, we took ChatGPT, Claude, we took real brands, and we asked the same questions over and over for 90 days. And actually the results breaks that promise. On the same question, these engines barely cite the same sources. The overlap runs between 4 to 19%. Sometimes they agree on a single top source as little as 4% of the time. And stick around, it's exactly what I will tell you in the video, and at the very end I'm going to give you the exact 3-part playbook to get cited across all of this engine. Let's start the video. If you don't know me, I'm Luca, I'm the founder of Qwairy. Qwairy is Qwairy. We are a generative engine optimization platform, GEO. We help brands and agencies understand and improve their visibility across ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and every other LLM. On this channel, we share strategies and studies with our data moat that actually works on LLM. And today is one of the most important study we have ever published because it challenges the single biggest assumption that GEO is just SEO. Actually, GEO and SEO, they use the same lever. The lever is content, is backlink, but there is a different way to do it. And here is how we will break it down. First, we will talk about this assumption, why it's tempting. Second, I will share with you and I'll share my screen. I'll share all the data of this study. And fourth, we will give you basically the 3-part strategy that you should use. Let's start the video. So here is the study. I will put it obviously in the description. Otherwise, you can always find it on Qwairy. Actually, on our blog, just for information, we have here research, and we share a lot of research. For example, 2 weeks ago, I did a video that you should go and see. It's called the ChatGPT linking shift, May 2026, and we proved that ChatGPT started to add 14 times more links on brands. So you should really see this video because it's a major shift. I'll also put it in the comment. But in this case, we are talking about this one. AI engines cite different sources, same question, different web. And the first thing I want to share with you is this little dashboard that is right here, and it's called how often 2 AI engines cite the same domain. So basically, I need to explain something again. You know, when you ask something to ChatGPT or another LLM, it will sometimes search the web and use sources. And basically, it's the sources that we extracted, and we asked the same prompt to 8 different engines to see if they use the same sources. And we did that over 90 days. We did it every day so that we can reduce the noise, because obviously there is volatility in LLMs. You know, one day they can tell you something and the next day they tell you something totally different. But basically we reduce the noise in that way. So the first thing we want that we can prove is that AI Overview and ChatGPT only uses the same sources 7% of the day. 7% of the time is really nothing. It's over 90 days, over a big number of prompts. So that means that most of the time, optimizing for ChatGPT is not exactly the same as optimizing for AI Overviews. And there's something else also. If we look at AI Overview and AI Mode, what we see here is that AI Overview and AI Mode are 2 Google products, but they don't use the same source. They only use the same source 90% of the time. And anyway, at the end of the video, I'll show you the exact process to optimize for every different engine, but that will come later. Because before that, I also want to share something with you, is this number. You see here, we have the purple number, and what we see here is that AI overviews and AI overviews, over the period of 90% of 90 days, they use the same source on the same prompt only 35% of the time. So that means that today, if you ask something to AI overview, for example, what's the best SaaS tool, what's the best CRM, AI overview will probably give a couple of sources. You can work on these sources. You start working on these sources and you get some mention so that your brand is mentioned. But that means that the next day, it might be that AI overview is not using this source anymore, and there are new sources which you should work with. So optimizing for GEO is really a complete work. It means that every day you need to look at sources, you need to update your content, you need to ask potential partners, potential sources to update their content. It's really a work of a day-to-day work. Content needs to be fresh. It's very important. On Google, you could rank with a content that was 2 years old. It's not the case on ChatGPT or AI overviews. Your content needs to be fresh and you need to be present on a high number of sources. For example, on SEO, you could do a backlink strategy, get a couple of backlink every month. Well, this is different. Maybe now it's not backlinks anymore, it's mentioned, and you need to be mentioned on a lot of articles. I did a video on this channel about how to run a GEO audit. You can look at this video directly, but now I will share with you the the 3 steps that you should use to see and to rank on the different LLMs and to adapt your strategy to 3 different LLMs. So I promised a 3-part playbook, and this is exactly what I'm going to present right now. So basically here I'm gonna present it on Qwairy. So Qwairy is the GEO tool I built, and basically the first advice I want to give is that a lot of brands, what they do is that they're only looking at ChatGPT, and this is wrong, because all AI models are used and all AI models are working differently. They use different sources. I will show you that a little bit later. They will use different phrases, different competitors. So you really have to be very granular. And this is a big difference, is that SEO would be a job, you would publish content and wait. Here, GEO is almost a day-to-day job. It means every day you need to update your data, you need to monitor, you need to see if new sources appear. It can go very fast with GEO. So the first thing I recommend is that you should monitor your brand on a lot of different LLMs, at least AI Overview, AI Mode, ChatGPT, obviously, Gemini, for example. And the first thing you can see, for example, here I'm looking at the brand Nike, and if I go for ChatGPT, I can see that Nike is ranking quite well and is mentioned a lot, 75% on the prompt I have here. And if I look at AI overview, it can be a bit different, in this case. So this is something really important. Second thing that you should look at is that you should really rank your prompts by topic, because, for example, Nike can be very present on basketball sneakers. We will see that 93% mention rate. This is a lot. Like, that means on almost every prompt about basketball sneakers, Nike is mentioned. But if you look, for example, at sustainable products, you will see that here Nike is really not mentioned, 6.6%. And if you scroll down, you see the leader here. It's actually Nike's competitor, Adidas and Patagonia. So this is really something that you should work on. It's that you should have really your topics and see, depending on the topics, if you are ranking or not. And then the first thing that you can act on is look at the sources. So on Qwairy, we have the sources here. We could go here on citation sources and have all the sources. So this will be the sources for sustainable product. So you see that, for example, if I look at ChatGPT, and this is where it's important to be very granular. You see that Vogue, for example, is very present, and they have some articles about refillable beauty, what it takes to make less toxic performance wear, this kind of article. If you look at Perplexity, for example, you will see that it's not the same sources at all. Here you see that Pure Wow is one of the source, Axio is one of the sources of the source, and this is something we didn't see before. So it's really about being very granular and look for every different topic, what are the main sources, and then work on these sources. Try to work with these people to ask them, can you talk about me in the article? Check what they say about you, because sometimes in the article they can mention you but say they don't work well, or a lot of different things. So this is really what you should work on. Do an audit. You can do it for free on Qwairy with 120 credits for free. Then you can look at precisely how your brands are showing up on the different LLM, and then be very granular and make it an everyday job. Like every day, come back and look at the data. This is it for this video. Let me know in the comments what you would like for the next researches. Thank you very much and talk soon. Bye bye.